Repeat after me. I have hundreds of new outfit ideas in my closet. The only limit to finding them is my imagination. Hi friends, lovers and thrifty fiends. My name is Faye. If you are new here, this is a place where we talk all things thrift, sustainable fashion, vintage, and what I like to call opshopulence. It's about taking secondhand, making it our own, and reinventing it into first class chic. And while I love me a thrift and I love being in an op shop and exploring all of the unlimited possibilities, I also really enjoy challenging myself to reimagine what I already have. So, through the lens of Fashion Month, so we're talking New York Fashion Week, Berlin, London, Paris, Milan, I have been fully nerding out, looking particularly at the street style. I haven't dived a lot into the shows yet. I will do that. But I've really been exploring the street style and not so much for full outfits. I've actually been zoning in on the details and looking for really unique, beautiful, interesting, quirky, bling-tastic ways that I can totally reinvent the pieces that I already have. So no shopping, not even any thrifting, just using what I've already got and the good old brain matter between my ears and using my style smarts to make it my own. So, because I am a full fashion nerd, and I know a lot of you out there will understand that, I literally create folders of the things that I find. So, as I'm scrolling through the street style fashion or collections or whatever it may be, I will take screenshots on my computer and put them into little organized files. Yep, I told you I was a fashion nerd. But what this does is it allows me to stop before I shop and think about what I've got and how I can get super, super clever and creative. And looking at the street style is so freaking inspiring because, especially when you zone in on the details, it starts to really get your brain ticking and it makes you channel your inner stylist, your inner designer. It just starts to ignite something. You're reminded of what you've got, but you also get excited by the possibilities of what you could create. So what I've done for today's video is put things into little folders, and I've come up with 7 new ideas, or new to me and new to you now. And I have pulled some pieces from my wardrobe. And yes, I'll probably put them in outfits just to show you, but I really want you to zone in on the details and think about what you've got in your accessories, how you can re-wear the pieces that you've got, how you could embellish them, how you could make them look and feel different to you. And by all means, if there is something missing, then, you can go shop it secondhand. But you will be surprised what you've got just languishing in your closet and just how bloody clever you can be. There's just so much creativity on the streets, and I think it's where the real fashion is. I really hope that it inspires you to dive into your wardrobe and get creative. I hope it saves you money. I hope it saves you that feeling of, I've got to go buy something new. I'm very excited to show you what I am going to do, and that rhymed with what I have right here at home. Let's do it. Alrighty. Idea number 1 is embellished ties, or tying ties into a completely different way. So the first thing that caught my eye was this image here. This is from Berlin Fashion Week. And when you zone in close on her tie, you can see there's lots of gorgeous little embellishment. So when I have more time, I'm definitely going to do this with smaller trinkets, buttons, earrings, broken bits of jewelry that I could glue on or maybe just hand stitch. But for a really easy, quick fix, I dived into my brooch collection and I have just completely encrusted this black tie, alternating metallics. So I think it just looks incredible. I've teamed it over a white shirt and I've just kept my cargos on and then added a jacket. I love how dynamic this is and coming into fall or autumn here in Australia, and I'm very excited. It's going to take a little while before it gets super cool, but I'm already thinking about jackets and I'm already thinking about some light layers. And I think this is also a really fun way to add layers, to add texture, to add dimension without too much weight or heat. So think about what you've got at home. Could you dive into your brooch collection? Could you use some old earrings? Maybe you've got some broken bits of jewelry. Maybe you've got some little pins. Maybe you could even use safety pins, or you could paint the tie. I mean, there's just so many cool things that you could do. This is definitely something that I will be leaning into the fall and the winter here in Australia, because I think it just adds such a wow factor to an outfit. And this is really a testament to, when you're looking at fashion images, when you're looking at street style, zone in, zoom in, use your eagle style eye and look for all the quirks and the unique details. And then think about, oh, what have I got that could give me that feel, that could give me that idea? So that was the first thing that came to me. I was like, easy fix, hollow brooches. The other idea with the ties is to literally tie the tie in a bow. So just put it around the collar and just make it into a bow. I mean, it's such an easy switch, but it creates this naturally bold bow. And when you pick a really vibrant color or interesting print on a tie, I think it looks amazing. So that's why I've gone for the dual bright red tone with the tie over the white shirt, and then contrasted it with this fantastic caramel colored vintage jacket that I have. That was something else I saw on Street Style, was that use of neutrals with pops of color. So that's another like semi tip to think about. Like, think about all your neutrals and what bold, bright accents could you add to it. I've used red, but imagine hot pink, imagine neon green or yellow or purple, or even like a lilac color. Just that little accent, that little pop. And I think this is such a fun way to play around with a tie. I hadn't thought of it before. I've seen lots of tie DIYs and reinventions on TikTok and Insta, and they're amazing and I love them. They're a lot more elaborate. I tend to sort of lack patience sometimes with those things. I'm like, oh, that looks amazing, but I don't know if I know how to do that, or that's too hard or whatever. So I'm like, give me the quick fix and give me the bang for my buck, give me the wow factor. And that's what I think just tying it in a bow does. I love it. The second idea that I have for you, my friends, is repurposing pendants or repurposing jewelry. So the images that caught my eye for this was, first of all, look at the detail on this gorgeous queen's collar. So instead of having the necklace underneath the collar, which is what I would normally do, I love how she has just completely covered the collar and gone on top of the collar with this huge gold bling bonanza. Like, seriously, it is so bold. And I love how thick and chunky it is. I think she's also got some kind of pendant hanging off it. So you could use a brooch, or you could use a charm or a trinket, or even another necklace. But I just really like the idea of putting the jewelry over the top. So then you've got that little peep of the collar underneath. I just had never thought to do that before. So I have teamed it with the white shirt again, and then played around with some interesting texture. The other idea for repurposing jewelry is this image here. Here's to be a gorgeous dragonfly bejeweled pendant. But I was reminded that I have a dragonfly brooch and I have lots of long pendant chains. So why don't I just put the dragonfly brooch on the chain? So this is a really easy thing to do. Just clip on a brooch. You can also use clip-on earrings. You can play around with different things to create a different necklace for yourself. So you can just do the one pendant like I have, or as you may have seen on my Opshopulent store before, I've had brooch necklaces for sale. So they're like more of a choker style with 3 or 4 brooches. And I love this idea because you can interchange and mix and match your jewelry. So based on the different chains that you have and the different brooches, you can create different accessories. I'm noticing a lot of like longer chains and also leather chains, like very 90s, those kind of like the cord necklaces. So my husband has a lot of them. He has crystals on them. So that longer cord necklace, you could also use leather cord and add a brooch to that. Because you've got that little pin fastening, it can just slot over or into lots of different things. So think about what's in your jewelry collection and how you could maybe repurpose your jewels. The other thing I like to do is more of a styling thing, but kind of repurposing the jewelry in the sense of teaming necklaces in different lengths. So I will have a shorter, more extravagant one, and then I'll have like a longer chain, or 2 or 3 in the middle to create this waterfall effect. And again, shameless plug, have a look on my Opshopulent store, and there's a couple of those sets up there at the moment. So these are beautiful pieces that I've sourced secondhand, and I kind of reinvent them by teaming them together to create more of this statement piece. And the cool thing about that is that you've got 2 necklaces or 3 necklaces in one, so you can interchange them to make your outfits look really different. And that's what this dragonfly image did for me. It just made me think, oh, of course, like I can just add a brooch, or I can just play with different layers. So I love that. Again, the street style just gets your brain ticking. So good. Idea number 3 is what I'm calling slogan jackets, or painted ladies, if you will. So I'm thinking about ways that I have reimagined my jackets, coats in the past. But what I noticed on the street style images was a lot of the billboard action on the back. So looking at this Moschino jacket from one of the shows, looking at this Harley Davidson from the street style, it reminded me of the power of having that statement on the back of your jacket. And obviously in this case, it's more of a branding statement. But from our perspective, from our thrifty perspective, and thinking about the things that resonate with us, I was reminded of this fantastic jacket that I created using the Cricut machine, which I've shown you in a video before. It's like a little laser kind of printing and cutting machine. You can print out all sorts of words and captions and little images and add them to clothing. It's so cool. So this one I have given a Love the Mother, Planet Earth vibe. So you can see the back of it has that really bold statement, and I love that. So this is something that you could do with a machine like the Cricut, or if you remember a couple of videos back when I did this subscriber thrifting adventure with the gorgeous Emel. Emel is an incredible artist, and she gave me an update recently on one of the jackets that we thrifted together. Have a look at what she's done to the back of this men's suit jacket. I mean, how divine. I just said to her, okay, well, I want one. That's plain and simple. But you can see this is such a beautiful way for her to express herself and to show her art, to start conversations about her work, but also to show her uniqueness. So I love this idea of slogan jackets, or kind of making statements with your style. So think about how you could do that with the pieces that you have. What do you have at home? I'm certainly not an artiste like Emel, but I love to play around with fabric paint on my jackets. I just use different ones from craft stores and just mix and match to get the right medium and colors that I like. And I have definitely painted quite a few of my jackets. The other thing that I've done in terms of the slogan jackets and this idea is I created this jacket for International Women's Day last year. So I thought about inspiring women over the years, over the decades, and the wonderful things that they have said and the impact that they have had. So I took some of my favorite quotes and slogans and, trains of thought, and I drew all over this jacket with all of these quotes from these amazing women. And it's coming up to International Women's Day again soon. So I will definitely be rocking this jacket on that day. So it's a great way to make a statement. It starts conversations. All the quotes are so inspiring. So you can just stand there and be a billboard and people can read your style. And I love that. Idea number 4, to get your brain ticking on the divine details of outfits and things that you could create. May I present to you the wonderful world of scarves. So the things that I noticed on the street style images were this really fun and playful use of scarves. So you can see it here in these dresses. There's a longer version and a shorter version. And then this coat really caught my eye as well. It reminded me of something that I did quite a few years back, adding in scarves to the bottom of a cropped jacket. So it creates this longer line jacket, but then this very interesting contrasting texture. I got the idea from a Burberry runway, and I thought, again, because I find these images so inspiring, I'm like, how can I do this in my thrifty way, in my upshopulence way? And that's what I came up with. And I literally just used safety pins. I just pinned them on the inside of the jacket so you can't see. Again, I'm a quick fixer, but you could definitely have it done professionally, or if you're a seamstress, you could do it yourself, just stitch it in. But I like the idea of being able to have the option of not changing a jacket forever. The other thing that I have done in the past, and these dresses that I saw on the street style images reminded me of that, was how I have created skirts out of scarves before. So what I've done with this is I will always have another like modesty skirt underneath, or a slip dress or something like that. So I'm not worried about, a stiff breeze or anything like that kind of compromising my style and my grace. I will always have something underneath. But what that does too is creates a nice layer and a nice anchor. And then I will add some kind of belt, or like a peplum or a corset belt or something like that. And you can attach the scarves one by one over the belt. So like just literally hang them over the belt. Or you can use safety pins to pin them to the slip that you're wearing underneath. Again, it's not perfect when I do it, but it's just something that I like to play with, and I will definitely get them in more of that sort of like handkerchief hem style, more asymmetrical hanging down. You can do it to create a full skirt like I have, or you can just do it with one scarf. I've done that before as well. When I went to New York to launch my book, I just added my Hermes scarf to the front of a dress and underneath my peplum belt. How many scarves have you got in your collection, and what could you do with them? Alrighty, let's talk about jewel tones. This is new territory for me, but I gotta say, I'm loving it. It's been a really great challenge, and it's been a cool awakening for me to definitely try something different. Case in point, she's wearing a red top today. What I noticed a lot on the street style images were these gorgeous jewel tones. So this image in particular really caught my eye. The purple, the green, the blue. And ironically, these are actually the colors that I'm playing with for this wonderful show that I'm doing, that I've been slowly shooting a behind the scenes video for you. That in its own has been so wonderful and such a good exercise to do when you're thrifting. Give yourself a theme and see what you can come up with. It's so fun. No black. The darkest I can go is indigo, navy. So I have that in there for sure. And I've got some creams and golds and silvers, gorgeous jewel tones. My point is, what colors have you got in your wardrobe and what interesting, unexpected combinations could you do? Greens with purples, pinks with blues, reds with yellow. Get in there and have a play and see what colors you've got and see what prints you've got and see what interesting, new to you outfits you could create. Something that has been a total game changer for me in terms of maximizing my wardrobe and creating so many more outfit options with what I have is thinking about how I can wear a garment in a different way. So instead of just sticking to its traditional function, i.e., a shirt is a shirt, why couldn't a shirt become a skirt? Or vice versa, why couldn't a skirt become a top? Could I wear something backwards? Could I wear it inside out? Could I wear it upside down? Could I wear it to one side? Could I cinch it? Could I pin it up with brooches? How many different ways can I wear this item to create a totally different silhouette, a totally different look, to create texture, dimension? I talk about those words all the time, but I love them because the more you play with your clothes, the more unlimited possibilities you have for outfits. And that's also going to help you stop before you shop, as I say, and think, okay, well, I really like that image, but maybe if I just pin that skirt in a different way, it could look like that. This look is so cool. So it looks like a men's suit, and it kind of looks like she's got a sarong worn in an asymmetrical way. It's probably a dress, I'm not sure. Thinking about the thrifty take on it, the opulence take on it, you could literally just use some great material, some fabric that you find in a thrift store. And the illustration on the cover of my book is actually inspired by this image here that my husband took of me. It was inspired by the Met Gala, and it was just this beautiful Egyptian cotton fabric that I found, and I created this wonderful, like, asymmetrical panel over a vintage dress. Seeing this image reminded me of that, and I want to encourage you to think about how could you use fabric, how could you use sarongs or scarves, as we've previously discussed, over something more masculine like a suit to create something so unique. Like, she just really stands out, doesn't she? So yeah, I'm thinking, okay, I need to play around with some of my scarves, maybe tie 2 or 3 together to recreate this look. Another idea that I saw, and this wasn't on Street Style, I actually saw this on Instagram, and it took me back to Celine Dion. I think she was at the Oscars and she was in Galliano. She wore the backwards tuxedo and she copped a lot of grief for it, but honestly, I think she was ahead of her time. That was such a chic look. So if you have an oversized jacket, a suit jacket that you found in a thrift store, or in my case, I can steal one from my hubby, wear it backwards, and then on the lapel, cover it in brooches. How sexy is that? Doesn't it look cool? And again, it's such a talking point. It makes a classic piece look really unique. It gives it a high fashion element, almost like a couture element. This is the wonder of brooches. There's so many things that you can do with them. And I don't know why I'd never thought to wear it like this. So yeah, flip it and reverse it, my friends. And lastly, all the trimmings. So what I noticed in particular was lots of jackets with fur collars. And I know for some of you watching, it's going to get warmer soon. So please oblige me. You can park this idea for next fall and winter for yourself. But I think you'll probably still have a few cool days. But I love the idea of a detachable collar. And I had always wanted a detachable faux fur collar. And I found one last season, this gorgeous white one, creamy white one. It looks great over leather jackets, denim jackets, coats. And look at this girl's coat. It's like a half-half. Can you see the different fabric? That gave me an idea as well. Imagine, I've done blazers like this before, like cutting them in half, so a different fabric on that side and that side. But imagine doing it the other way in more of a coat style. So cutting the coat at hip level and then adding a completely different fabric on the bottom. Oof. And then the fur collar on top, I mean, gorgeous. It's the details for me. It's all these little crossing of T's and dotting of style I's, as I like to say, that just add this sense of whimsy and wonder. And it just really shows that you've thought about your outfit, but that you have a story to tell. It's all the trimmings that just give it that little stamp of opulence. Et voila. Reimagining your closet is a cinch. It's fun. It's a good workout. And it's really good for your brain and your inner designer and your inner child. I love it. It's kind of like my therapy in some ways, to just get lost in the magic of the pieces that I have and the magic of my brain and my storytelling and my creativity. And I really hope that this video inspires you, and I hope it serves you in a way that helps you to change the way you look at your clothes and also the way that you look at the fashion industry. And I hope that it makes you feel less pressured to constantly get on that hamster wheel of feeling like you need new things all the time, because you really don't. You just need an unlimited imagination. I thoroughly enjoy creating these videos for you, and I love hearing your ideas. So please chime in the comments and let me know how you've reimagined things, and also let me know what you want to see from me next. I have done a couple of videos just recently from subscriber suggestions, and they've been a real hit. And so I'm totally up for more ideas and happy to tailor the channel to you, my loves. Thanks again, and I will see you really soon for the next one. Mwah. Bye.